What's up, everybody? So, we are doing a quick little impromptu live. Let me grab my cup of coffee and join y'all. There we go. Just want to join you guys today. Happy Sunday. I wanted to do this for a little while. I did one a little bit ago. Just here to answer any questions you guys have about injuries. As you know, with our YouTube here, we get a lot of great questions, a lot of great people hopping in. So, what I want to do is I want to just answer some of the questions that you guys have. All right. So, if you are new to the chat, or I see somebody else is here, I can see that people are popping in, but I cannot see who it is. So, say hello. Just gonna clean my camera lens, hang out. So, just got back from a nice little swim here on the Sunday, little barbecue. All right. Apologize if it's a little windy. I am outside. I wanted to enjoy a little bit of the outdoors. So there we go. All right. So if you have any questions, guys, put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. I want to hear from you. I am going to be answering questions that have been commented from the YouTube, but whoever shows up here live, I will answer your question first. So let's start in here. I'm not going in any particular order. I'm gonna go in, top down order from I guess it's newest comment to oldest. So right now, I have a pretty popular video that's kind of going a little bit, a little. I hate to use the word viral, but it's starting to get a little more popular. How to treat lower back pain and spasms in the lumbar spine. And one person asked, are there any over-the-counter muscle relaxers? So, first, I legally cannot give you that advice. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't prescribe medications. I cannot prescribe medications. I see somebody's popping in the chat. Say hello. I cannot see who you are, but I can see that people are here. But I cannot recommend over-the-counter medications or medications whatsoever. That being said, typically when people are talking about medications for muscle relaxers, they are typically prescribed medications. So the most natural, I guess you could say, modality or thing that is going to help muscle spasms typically are ice or heat. Just having a compress can typically help that naturally. So, it's always good to have that natural process. But if you need medication, that's up to you and your doctor to decide. So I know that's not likely what that person wants to hear, but it's the truth. One person in a thoracic spine disc herniation said that they tend to heal really well if you can sleep, but it sounds like this person cannot sleep. Anytime you have pain, it is significantly harder to sleep, especially when you're having thoracic or lumbar or neck pain that's pretty aggressive. That really stinks, and I can tell you firsthand I've had that. So pretty tough, and I hope you feel well. So why you should deadlift for low back pain and sciatica? And the person's saying, so you're saying that the best exercise to fix low back pain is an exercise that will hurt you if you have a lower back pain. Got it. Okay. So I think there's a little bit of sarcasm in that comment right there. But yeah, one of the best exercises ultimately to help your lower back or to help fix it is a variation or a deadlift. And I know that's very controversial, but I don't mean a traditional deadlift. I mean some sort of variation. It is a very complex and compound movement, and it requires a different strength and different flexibility for different tissues. And you can't just go right into a deadlift, okay? You just can't. So the question is if it's an exercise that's going to hurt you if you have a low back, I wouldn't do it. This is why I'm saying that if it's a very complex exercise like the deadlift, I would be doing isolated parts to get multiple different parts really strong. So, for example, let's talk about our low back. You wouldn't just get your low back strong, you would get your lower back and your core strong. You wouldn't just get your core strong, but you would probably be getting your hips strong. You would be getting your hamstring strong. You would do isolated movements and then sandwich them together to create a more complex movement. So, and to answer that question more specifically, I would never really recommend anything that I think is going to hurt somebody or exacerbate their symptoms. So that's very helpful. Thank you. Hey, DMC. I played tennis. I got an SI joint strain. Lasting a year, you went to a chiropractor, but he just kept readjusting, so I decided to walk away from it. Do you think physio is better? Should I stop tennis? I'm going to help you out. As I said, anybody who answers or asks questions gets priority over the comments at this point. I really appreciate you, and I really think that, one, thank you for commenting. Two, DMC, I really think that it takes a lot of courage actually to get up and walk away from care after giving it some treatment. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a story about like what I do, and I'm gonna relate it back to you. So I typically don't care if you get adjusted or don't get adjusted. I just care that you get better. And there are some patients who come to me, most of them who have failed traditional care or didn't get the results they want. Then they leave their normal PT or chiro, then they come to me. That's typically who I see. Now, the reason I'm telling you that story and that quick little who I serve is because you fall into that category, and I'm going to tell you my demographic, meaning your person, who you are. Like, this is what I see. I never want you to stop tennis. I do want you to stop tennis if you think it's every single time you're doing it. Now, can you modify? Can you go 70%? Can you go 60%? Can you go 50% and not irritate it? I want you to stay as active as you possibly can without causing any irritation. All right, so let me read off the rest of the question. So you decided to walk away. Now you wear SI joint blade, but recently you hurt the other side running for a low ball, and the belt jammed me up. The pain was intense, and I used the ball to ease out. Yeah. So I think what you're saying is, having a release in the glute can help alleviate some of the pain or the knots or the tension. Hey, Nature Light, thanks for hopping on. If you have any questions, let me know. Natural Light, sorry. But to answer your question, like the knots in your glutes can be alleviated with the glute, the ball, and all that other stuff. I apologize, guys, if it's a little windy. Beautiful out here, but it's probably not so good for audio for you guys. So I apologize. Where are you located, DMC, so I can maybe help you? I have a network of chiros all around the country, so let me know where you're from. Ireland. Okay. I will look somebody up for you. Shoot me. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I can get a hold of you. On my website, if you submit a form, or if you just get a hold, you can submit a form on my website. It's SoFlo Sports Rehab. So let me go here. SoFloSportsRehab.com. Submit a form and just like say, hey, I chatted with you on YouTube, and it goes directly to me and the team, and I will take a look at it, and I will find somebody to help you out. And then I think the other part of your question is like, yeah, you should use that belt maybe around the house. But I obviously think that if you're going to go play tennis, whether you're dodging a ball to the left or to the right, or forward or backwards, there's a lot of flexion and extension of the spine here. So like moving this way and with high velocity. So if you can't find ways to like really slow it up, you're just going to constantly irritate it. So it sounds to me like at this point, you're here, the injury, or this is 100%. You're now here, and now you're slowly going downhill. Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate that. So I really think that for you, what you can do is just like really try to stabilize that. One of the things that I like to do with SI joint pains is and this is just, I find that they don't like as much extension versus flexion. So I'm going to differentiate some things. I'm going to give you a little more help here. Flexion, which is bending forward, typically discs or acute discs don't like that. But extension, going backwards, usually SI joints don't like that. So you have to differentiate which is which. Now, obviously, that's hard to do. But for you right now, you have to decide, is it an SI or is it actually like a ligament issue? Is it a disc issue? What's going on? Uh, Lunge is bad. One of the keys I do also, DMC, is instead of forward lunges, try backward lunges. So you're going to stand up and then lunge backward. So you're going to step back instead of step forward. Sometimes that really helps. So if you think about it, DMC, from tennis standpoint, it's a lot of split stance, right? It's like, and I'm sitting right now, so I can't really get up. But like if you're like this, it's a split stance, right? One leg is in front of the other, so left leg is in front, and you're gonna go hit backhand if you're righty, and then forehand. It's kind of like a staggered stance as well, like a split stance. It's very similar to a lunge. So if you can't develop power and rotation off of that, that's going to be pretty hard. And I can tell you, it's like sounds to me like it's not getting much better, which is probably driving you insane, especially if you love, tennis or any sports, just being out of pain. I'm pretty sure I know somebody who knows somebody in Ireland, though. By the way, like I'm almost confident. I just can't think of the names right now. I know for the most part, it's going to be might be a little harder, but at the same time, like when you find that right person, and you're more than welcome to shoot me a message back. I'm gonna be trying to do more of these lives more often and interact with you guys. I love you guys. So um, I love that basically every single person who comments is active. Like that's who this is for, and this is for you. So I want you to stay active. Drinking my coffee here, guys. So does that help a little bit, DMC? And if you don't have any more questions, or if you do, please let me know. I'll wait around since you. Been I've been to another physio now, back to square one. Yeah. You know, I just want to let you know, I don't want you to feel like you didn't get back, like that I know you're at square one right now, but I don't want you to feel depressed or upset by it, because sometimes a step back, like, and having a new person analyze like your situation doesn't always mean that you're taking a step back. It means you're getting a new set of eyes. So, if you were to teach me tennis, like, again, I don't really play tennis, and I should, because I really I kind of always enjoyed when I did play it. Um, like, you can progress with one coach really well, but you might hit a peak, and then you might need a new set of eyes, and that new set of eyes, that other coach might tell you just to, hey, go back to doing those basic drills. You're like, well, basic drills, I've been doing advanced drills, like, right? That doesn't mean you're going to take a step back, and it's, all the time. So it might actually get more help, because you might have two conflicting ideas and then you can make your own, or you might have one real good clarity call on with one of your providers, and that's ultimately the goal. And like, I think the hard part about the medical field is, straight up, it is hard to find somebody to come up with the same conclusion all the time. Like, everybody's got their own opinions, and I value everybody's opinion. The question is, like, my only thing is, like, can you get the result? At the end of the day, it's an outcome based game, right? Natural Light, thank you. I'll read off your comment. And anybody who else just joined our chat, again, I'm reading off some questions. DMC, if it's been a year and you haven't gotten an MRI, I'm okay. Like, as a practitioner, I'm okay. You haven't gotten results in a year. You've done your hard work. You've done your due diligence. You're still there. No, you're not hogging. Don't worry. You've done your due diligence, and anybody who's done their due diligence and hasn't gotten the results, you probably had bad treatment, the wrong diagnosis, or some other factors. And I'm not going to go in there. But an MRI can help clear some of that stuff up and give you some answers. So if you have any more questions, just pop them in the chat. And anyone else who's joining, I can see that you're joining, coming in and out, but I cannot see. You're welcome, DMC, but I cannot see your name, so it's kind of anonymous in that sense. Natural light. I have pain in the middle of my back after bridging exercise or BJJ. Bridge exercise. Sometimes I feel it's like hard to keep my spine and posture straight, just below my shoulder. I do feel discomfort when I lie down on the mat. Okay, so if you have pain laying or hanging out on your back, you're definitely going to have pain bridging. So, I know that's a statement. Is there any other? Do you have questions on that? Natural light. How can I get rid of it? So first thing is we got to find out what it actually is. Like, what is it? Where's it coming from? Is it a strained shoulder blade muscle, mid back muscle? Is it a neck issue? We can treat the mid back, but if it's coming from somewhere else, then it's kind of like not going to help much. So a good quality exam would help me or help somebody get that answer. I would also try other types of like therapy, whether it's massage, whether it's some rest. Sometimes, and I said this earlier in one of my Instagram posts, sometimes the best way to reduce your pain and inflammation is just to stop pissing it off, guys. Like, it sounds pretty basic, and I can tell you from firsthand, and I know you guys watching this right now, you're going to say like, duh, I know this. But it is really hard to tell you to stop doing what you love to do. It's hard. It sucks mentally and physically, and you don't want to do it. And I don't want to do it either. But if you keep triggering your pain in jiu-jitsu or in tennis or doing the things you're doing, you're not going to get much better. So you might have to take a step back. Modification is the best way to stay as active as possible while trying to pursue that pain relief. If you have a disc herniation, compression in the nerve and neck, I know. It's hard to hear. Again, about 8 months ago, guys, like I had a disc herniation or disc compression in my lower back, and like sometimes, like when I was walking my dog would pull, and I would just like my back would seize. Or what I would do is I would cook breakfast for my daughter and stuff like that, and I couldn't like bend down and grab the plates. So like obviously I had to stop doing jiu-jitsu for a little bit. So it's easier said than done, and it's really unfortunate because I think the goal should be to get back and play your sport and live your life and be active and have fun, be capable of being confident in your body confidence, baby. My channel, I'm gonna read this over. You have a disc herniation and compression in the neck confirmed by MRI, but symptoms have cleared. Is the nerve still inflamed? And should I wait for X amount of weeks before I return to jiu-jitsu? Okay. A lot of questions I have off of that, but what I would say is research shows that you can have a disc herniation or a disc bulge and have no symptoms. You can have a disc herniation and symptoms somewhere else. What I'm saying here is the MRI does not correlate with your pain. So if you have a cleared out disc herniation, it feels good, you feel 100%, you're strong, you're lifting, you're doing everything you want to do, you have zero pain, and you feel like you can get back on the mats, I would do it, but I would do it again with some modification. Would I go back in and train 5 days a week with like all comp classes? No. Would I train 3 days a week like that? No. But would I go in once this week for an hour and just drill no live? Yeah, maybe. That's probably what I would look into like, and I would make sure that you have done also my channel. Like I would make sure that you've done at least 4 weeks of 3 to 6 weeks minimum of some rehab in the upper back, and neck two times a week as a minimum. I just released a video, I think 2 weeks ago, so check that out. It's all about neck rehab for jiu-jitsu. And again, I've had 2 disc herniations due to jiu-jitsu. So hopefully that answers my channel. DMC, you play twice a week. That's your limit. I'm 53. You're welcome, my channel. If you have more questions, let me know. I know there's a lot of there's a lot of questions in health that could be answered and not answered, and I'm here to like do these lives to help you guys. Like, you guys are my people. I love you guys. Like, I love seeing active people like fight for their life to get back. Like, I love it. I play twice a week. That's my limit. So I like to keep fit and just listen to my body. Yeah. You're going to laugh at this, guys. I met a 53-year-old lady this week, and she finished first in her class for this race, and she finished 10th overall of like all the women in this race. So like, you can be super healthy at 53, or you can keep it healthy. Like, again, this lady is a like high level ex runner, but I just want to give you perspective that like, you can be competitive if you want, you can be active if you want. It's totally up to you what you want to kind of do, but there is a recovery component to it. And of course, as you get a little older, it's harder to recover. Like, I can tell you, like, me training 5 days a week at jiu-jitsu is like, I don't really even want to do that anymore. Maybe 4, maybe 5, but I would have to be very, very light. Not 6 or 7, not the way I used to. So, just, also, DMC, feel free to go for a walk and maybe, lift some weights and do things that you can do. And this is for everybody here watching and anybody who wants to come. One of the key factors is like, I talked about this again on my Instagram. Is like, there's basically 3 exercises. Direct exercises, meaning like, let's just say we're talking about my neck real fast. I'm doing exercises that directly affect the tissues in my neck. There's indirect exercises. So if I do upper back exercises, it still helps stabilize my neck, but it's not directly related, right? It's indirectly. And then there's basically whole body exercises or general exercises. One of the key factors in maintaining overall health while you're battling an injury is to do a lot of the general exercises. So can you walk? Can you do some shoulder lifts seated so that you don't flare up your SI joint? Can you do this? Doesn't have to be heavy. Doesn't have to be super light. Just, can you get some activity to keep your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, your forearms overall healthy? And HIIT classes, yeah, I understand HIIT classes, but when you're doing, I mean, I don't want to say I don't like HIIT classes, but I think they're too general, but that's my opinion. I don't love them. If you do it, that's okay, but I think HIIT classes are kind of like so non-specific, and for you, DMC, you have a specific sport that requires plyometric movement, multi-directional movements. It's fast, it's quick, there's endurance, there's a lot of things going on. I don't know if I would do HIIT classes more than 1 or 2 times a week for you. That's it. So, but to get your other movement patterns in without flaring up your SI joint, I might just go to like very basic machine lifts for a little bit. I see a few people are also popping on. Feel free to say hello in the channel. I cannot see you. It's anonymous until you comment. So you keep taking 4 weeks off and then it flares back up after 3 weeks, and 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks per session training. So that's why I was wondering if it's not totally healed. Okay. That makes sense. All right. So let me explain something real fast about your condition and what I see. So if you are one of those people that has pain and then you get out of pain and then you wait a few weeks and then you go back to your activity and then the pain comes back, that means you didn't completely solve it. Let me say that again. It means you need to do more rehab. Okay? You also need to do more modifications, my channel. So let's just say you're finally out of the pain and you're listening up to me right now and you're saying, you know what, I'm willing to give it another 2 to 4 weeks of like more rehab. You do 2 to 4 more weeks of rehab and then you go back into jiu-jitsu, but you're going to go in, as I said before, with an intention of I'm going 60%, 50%, whatever, I'm making up numbers, 50%, and I'm just going to drill for the rest of the day. That's it. That's it. And I'm going to drill and I'm going to be gone. For example, like, I think this is the hard part about jiu-jitsu. You and I, like, we go to classes and we only go to classes. I don't think enough people do enough drilling and situational. I just don't think enough people do that. And I don't think that gives us the skill set that we need. We just like to roll. I love to roll too. Who doesn't like to roll? But, like, if you're coming off an injury, it's probably the last thing you should be doing. You should probably just put yourself into small micro doses of situation and situational drills and drilling and getting some resilience, some movement specific jujitsu, as well as, um, some stamina from jujitsu. That's what I would say. And DMC, you do a lot. I love it. I love it, man. So I think the one thing for you, DMC, that I'm seeing in your it is easy to say natural light, super easy to say. However, let me just tell you this. I know it's easy to say. I cannot tell you that. I mean, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 14 years. I wrestled for 4 or 5 years, from 14 years old to 18, 19 years old, 18 years old or something like that. I took about 3 years to 4 years off of jiu-jitsu and wrestling my whole life. Um, during college, basically. And then I've been in jiu-jitsu since 2008. Okay. Every single injury that I currently have or have had has basically been on the mats. I have broken toes. I have herniated multiple discs. I've compressed the lower spine. I have a torn labrum. I fell off a motorcycle. I guess you can say tore another labrum. So, you know, I've had wrist problems. You know what I mean? I've gotten choked out pretty aggressively where you tweak your neck. I've had a lot of these injuries, and it is easy to say, but I also do this for a living. And so my job is to say it, but say it with conviction so that you can actually listen. And my ultimate goal for you and for everybody here and watching this and watching and being part of my tribe, my peoples here, is to keep you active. Injuries are going to happen. It's not if they happen, it's when they happen. There's a saying in the sports rehab world. There's an injury statement in the sports world. If the athlete doesn't expect to get injured, they shouldn't be there in the first place. If you don't expect to get injured on the tennis court or on the mats, you shouldn't go. It's going to happen. Somebody's going to mess up their wrist, up their hand when they hit a racket or something like that, or have doubles. Like I had a pickleball player recently. They went to go hit the ball like really hard, and the paddle hit their other buddies, and then like he messed up his hand pretty bad, and it's been over a year. So a lot of injuries due to COVID, lockups, and your body change. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You know, so I mean, it sucks to say it all the time because like it really is like natural light. You were so right. Like it's easy to say it, but I sorry, I deal with my own problems too. I'm human. Just because I do this for a living doesn't mean I'm like immune to sports injuries and injuries in general. Like, you know, we all got our things, and it's just what works for you. And like I find that just sometimes taking a step back, like jujitsu is always going to be there for me, and like I don't feel like I don't need to compete for me, and for you, like you might want to compete, so there might be a little bit more of a rush to get down on the mats, you know, and do it. So I really envy the fact that you're trying to get back quick. Oh hell yeah. It's like my social life. Like I'll tell you, you all right now watching, like I don't go out, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to a bar. Not gonna meet you at a bar. Love you guys. Nice, CMC. Yeah, I you guys both. So that's why I drink a lot of coffee, guys. Okay, I drink coffee. We can meet at a coffee shop if we ever get together. Okay, we're not going to a bar. Okay, or I'll meet you on the mats. Actually, that's better off. Um, you know, like you can't get me to go out. So, you know, it's just really like stuff like that. You know, I think you're right. Like having different therapy for each person is like it like it's ripping away at the fabric of who you are, and it sucks when somebody doesn't can't get there. That's why I go to, that's why I also lift, because I have like a different area, and then I also have like my mats, you know, like if you gave me 2 hours to go decide, like Josh, you can go jujitsu or you can go weightlift, I'm going to jujitsu. Okay, it is therapy. My channel sounds good. Add like 4 to 6 weeks of light drilling training on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would definitely. I think you're understanding that. I really think that like you need to add a little bit. A big mistake that people make is like I call it the phases of care. I'm gonna simplify it. It's basically pain relief phase, and then you're gonna correct the problem after. Most people, after they get out of pain, they just go back to their training, right? But what they forgot about is the majority of like the correcting the problem, the rehab, the strength, the endurance, the basic stuff that most people like. It's not sexy to see this on YouTube, on Instagram. Everybody wants to see like the guy rolling and doing this fancy stuff. Like that's what people, that's what gets more clicks, likes, views, things like that. These like non-sexy exercises that are the basics, like they don't get any attention. That's actually what my channel is about, if you really think about it. Why do you think like my channel doesn't have people um like getting cracked and adjusted? It's basic shit, excuse my language, it's basic shit that actually works, but with right protocols and procedures in place. Nobody wants to see it, nobody wants to hear it, but it's the correct path. Okay. um and like that, like I just don't know why, you know, it's just not sexy, and sex sells, right? And sexy sells. And if you can make people emotionally feel a different way, or if you can show off something sexy, or if you can prove things or disprove things, or, you know, there's different types of entertainment on YouTube and Instagram and all this stuff. But like, I just think that like, if people understand the basics, then they can like learn how to teach themselves a little bit, and then they can get back to the exercises better. Then you can do all the sexy stuff later. Found your channel today. Oh, you found my channel today. Wow. What are the odds, DMC? Like I literally just decided right now, like, why don't I just do a quick live for half hour, 40 minutes? So I try to do one once a month now. So hopefully the beginning of the July, I'll do another one. The more you guys share, like, comment, I read the comments. I can't get back to everybody because it just takes forever, but I'm trying. But the more comments you guys put on or share it, I get more comments. I actually literally categorize these comments, and I do some stuff with the back end, and I come up with good ideas of how I can help you guys. And that's actually what creates these videos, is you guys commenting. So you found the channel and is the happiest man to let me work on stuff. Yeah. My goal is to empower you guys to make your own best decisions. You're gonna need a doctor, you're gonna need to make your own decisions, but if I can help you make better decisions, then you can actually have a better conversation with your therapist, your doctor, and then you can actually be in charge of your own care, right? Oh, let me let my dog in here. So we're almost any more questions, guys? I know there's a few people logging in and on, so I really appreciate it. Love the interaction, you guys. DMC, Natural Light, my channel. Love you guys. Great stuff. Great channel. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Keep up the work. You know that, man. I can't. I've been posting for a long time now. I don't think I've missed an episode in years. Years. So yeah, I just love this stuff. It is like epic, and connecting with you guys is actually the best part of it all, to be honest. American from South Carolina. I just personally just moved from San Diego to South Florida, so not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, I'm in Boca Raton area now, so decided to move here to visit my family and raise my family next to family. So that's why I'm here now. So, um, any more questions, guys? He's living in Dublin. I haven't been to Ireland yet. Maybe now that I'm on the East Coast again, I'll be back, or I'll be there. Trust me, I'll be doing a little shout out to everybody. Hopefully, I can come on the mats with you guys and hang out. Sorry about the wind, guys. In South Florida, it gets hot, so I'll take any win we got. Almost done for the day, guys. So, any other questions you guys have? Keep coming back and readjust me, give me new rehab. Does that sound? That sounds like very traditional chiropractic. Basically, you get like 5 to 10 minutes of stim and like 5 to 7 minutes with the doc, 10, 15 minutes, no adjustments, keep coming back. You usually have a plan. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much crap on it, but it ain't my style. I'll just say that. Like for me, like my style is like 1 hour, 50 to 60 minutes, 1 hour, one-on-one. It doesn't matter if we do soft tissue, we do rehab. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we talk the whole time. It's because you're gonna laugh at this. Like people are like, well, why would you talk for the whole time? It's because if I can give you a whole plan for what to do for the entire week, that is better served if you have no idea what you're doing than it is to just treat you and not talk to you about like anything, right? Again, empowerment. How can you help yourself? Dry needling. Let me just say this. Everything has got a purpose. Okay. I don't do dry needling. I don't think I ever will. I've never done it. I've always been in 2 or 3 states. So I've been in New York, New Jersey, and California. Those 3 states, and all of them restricted dry needling. Florida allows it for me, but I've been practicing for 14 years now, and I've never done it. I don't know if I'll start now. I like to say, like, find somebody who's really good at it and stay in your lane. So if you're going to go to dry needling, go to like an acupuncturist. Like those are the people that start with needles and train with needles all day long. They're usually great. It's ultrasound, not really. If it's truly SI joint pain, like I find that like um, a lot of glute rehab, and I do a lot of active release techniques. So if you could find an active release technique provider in your area, let me active release. Active release, I just put it in the chat. So naturally, you can use a foam roller. Obviously, you can use like a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball. You can put a ball on the wall and kind of like pull your arm across. Those are some things. You can do some thoracic rotations and spinal mobility. Always think about the areas not only at the area but above it and below it. That's what I would also say. That's what I would say is like always above, always below. No, I mean, you're right. It's difficult to assess because like, you know, like it's hard to say this, like assuming nobody has any red flags or any problems, like you can usually get a lot of this stuff right. I know it sounds weird to say that, but like most of the stuff I like, even during COVID time, I was doing online stuff before COVID, and people like I was getting some really good results. But you are right, like there are some things that people are just like have, and you're like, well, how come you didn't tell me about your, like, even in real life? Here, check this out. You guys are gonna maybe laugh at this. So a guy like many years ago came in with some shoulder issues, and I was like, all right, so what's going on with the shoulder? And he's like, oh, it's a little tweaked. I was like, all right, well, what's going on? I asked some questions, got some things. I was like, all right, can you take off your shirt a little bit, roll up your shirt a little bit? I want to take a look at it. The guy had like 4 incisions or 5 incisions on there from like an old surgery. I go, what's this? He goes, oh yeah, I had like shoulder surgery like 10 years ago. And I'm like, you didn't think that was important to tell me about it? Like, really? Really didn't think that was important? So what I'm saying is, like, you're right. It is like treating blind. But if somebody is very open and giving all the information, and the more I see a person, whether it's in person or online, the more I can really like gauge that person, and it just helps. So, um, you're right. It can be really, really hard and really difficult. But at the same time, like, if you've noticed, it's hard to truly give real advice, not because I don't want to, but because it's almost like legally I can't, and like ethically and morally, it's hard to do that as well, because like I really want the best for you guys to get out of pain and be like, oh, that it was just this. But at the same time, like, if I'm wrong, like, I mean, I'm not gonna go to jail for it, but like, come on, like, I'm not gonna give you like, I'm not gonna tell you to go take medication if that's what you're asking, right? So, that's illegal for me to do. So I won't do it. So I just tell you what I typically find with most of my patients. Like, hey, they typically do this, they typically do that, and it's all we can do. Do the best we can. So wrapping up here soon, guys. So any more questions, I'm happy to have them. I'm glad we got into a chat, and I know I was reading off some questions, but you know, one of the questions I had, I had another person say is like, this guy, I cannot get into the 90-90 position, even laying down. It's way too painful. This guy has obviously never had back spasms. So that sucks. If it's that painful that you can't even get down into the 90-90 position with the low back, that could be a very large spasm. And I have definitely had back spasms especially when I had that disc issue and that compression. So yeah, I've had them, but we find that with spasms, they typically do well with compression and some support, aka a ground floor, which is why we lay on the back. If you're having that much pain, or if that person's having that much pain, unfortunately, that's like not a red flag, but it's like, hey, this person's probably gonna, be like this for a while, and it really sucks for them, and you feel bad for them. So, because obviously the person who's making this comment is having this pain, and they can't even get down on the ground. That's how painful it is. So, I hope they find a lot of relief, and hope they watch this video so that they can get some pain relief out of it. When will we have the next live? I'm trying to do a live every month, on a weekend if possible. So maybe the first week of July. I'll try to post it on my community tab, and if there's a day or time that you guys want, I'm happy to do it. And here, there's another jiu-jitsu injury. Look, I split my eye. I got it. Like, it's pretty cool, right? This is a scar from like 5 months ago too, right? I cut my eye open all the way. Still hasn't healed. I don't think it ever will. Yeah, send me a message on the webpage, DMC, and look up activereleasetechniques.com. Those are a great set of providers. They're around all around the world. So not just my country, like they're everywhere. They have some seminars out in Ireland, I believe, as well. So I can bet you that they'll probably have somebody out there. And if you shoot me a message on there, you'll be able to kind of like maybe say, hey, like I saw this provider, and your information will go into like my stuff, and I'll be able to kind of flag you down, and we can chat, and I can shoot you a straight a message. Thank you, Natural Light. I really appreciate you guys. Like, I'm only doing an awesome job only because you guys are watching. Otherwise, I guess I'm doing this by myself. It's weird. you know. So I don't know. I mean, I just love helping the people who love staying active. Like, it's 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 seriously a joy. Like, it's really like it's so easy. My job is like super easy. Like, you're gonna laugh. You're like, really? Is it? Like, it's easy being a chiropractor. Like, and like helping people who want to be helped. You know what's hard is actually like building like a practice and like becoming like a different person, right? That's hard. It's like learning what the next level is. Just like jiu-jitsu or sports, right? The next level is like being who you are is easy. The next level of who you need to be is harder, right? And so I guess doing this for 12, 13, 14 since 2010, it's like I've seen a lot of different injuries. So, you kind of have a good perspective of what's available out there. There's stuff I learn every day, by the way. I don't see you around enjoying your coffee almost all the time, dude. Thank you. Um, Again, guys, happy to help you. I really appreciate your time today on a Sunday. And I'm glad that we were able to interface. If you didn't comment, sorry, I didn't see you. My channel, DMC, Natural Light, appreciate you guys. And thank you for being part of the group, engaging. I know people have come on and off, but I don't see those people, so I can't shout them out until I actually see them or see them comment. So I will keep you guys posted. I will do at least one live per month for the rest of this year. So there'll be 6 more as a minimum, or 5 more as a minimum. This is the 6 or the first of 6 more, and then what we'll do is we'll go from there. All right. So thanks again, guys, and I hope you feel well. And thanks again.